Hey, come see us on tour. We're going to be in Duluth, Georgia, outside of Atlanta, Jacksonville, Florida, Tempe, Arizona, and Burbank, California. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. So here is RFK. He's going to tell you what I've been talking about seed oils and all the garbage that's in our food, which is why I don't eat packaged food anymore. I only eat fresh food cooked by a human. Let's watch this.
Why should people be worried about these kind of products?
Seed oils are one of the most unhealthy ingredients that we have in foods. And seed oils, the reason they're in the foods is because they're heavily subsidized. They're very, very cheap, but they are associated with all kinds of very, very serious illnesses, including body-wide inflammation.
Right.
Which affects all of our health. It's one of the worst things you can eat, and it's almost impossible to avoid. If you eat any processed food, you're going to be eating seed oil. Right,
and it's interesting, the government subsidizes it. Why would the government want to subsidize something that's going to make people sick, and then in the end, we all end up paying for that in terms of healthcare costs, which are skyrocketing?
Yeah, because that is a direct result of corruption. About 75% of FDA's budget comes from regulated industry, and that means food processors and pharmaceutical industry. All of them profit from a sick population.
You know, a big item that, and by the way, it's getting very expensive, are cereals. Why is the food coloring in particular bad?
Food coloring, you see here yellow food coloring, that is a petroleum product. Mm-hmm. It's associated with really, with depression. It's associated with autoimmune injuries and ADHD.
Yeah.
Did you know any of that? Did you know that food coloring is associated with any of that stuff? Depression, ADHD. I had no idea. I did know that when I went to Europe, there's like Gatorade colors that they don't sell there.
Yeah, right.
There's lots of food coloring they don't sell there. And that's what he's talking about here, that you can only get these certain food colorings in the United States. Other countries have outlawed them. Why? Because they're not as corrupt as the United States. So here we go.
And red dye also is very bad. In Europe, these same companies are producing the same products, but they're using natural coloring. But here they can get away with it. We have about almost 1,000 chemicals that are in our food that are either outright banned in Europe or actively discouraged. So you wouldn't be able to buy this kind of stuff in Europe. You ask about why it's so cheap, why it's so ubiquitous. It's because we subsidize the worst foods. We subsidize it with about 70% of our food stamp program is to processed foods, which are all poison.
Right. One of the things that's interesting is you'll see on labels, natural flavors, which is this catch-all phrase that I guess was lobbied for, but the ingredients in natural flavors are not really natural.
No. In our country, natural flavors are chemical products. So you can't trust what's on the ingredient label. And the reason for that, again, is government corruption. It's that the agency, the USDA, the FDA have been captured by the industries they're supposed to regulate. And they all have an interest in subsidies and then in mass poisoning the American public.
Yeah, I want to talk about pesticides, and then let's talk about the policy. So let's talk about the pesticides and the things that worry you about. I mean, this looks like fresh food, right? What should I be worried about here?
Yeah, I mean, the irony is, like, for example, my wife loves kale, and she had the impression that kale is actually good for you. If it's organic, it's very good for you. But most kale and strawberries, for example, grapes, are contaminated with pesticides, and particularly the Environmental Working Group has found what they call the dirty dozen, some of the worst pesticides on these products. So, I look at a strawberry and I think, oh, this is a healthy food. Right. But in most cases, unless it's organic, certified organic, you are getting something that's actually hurting you.
Great.
What a crazy person. What a nut job. What a mental case, huh? Oh, that guy, woo, he's really woo.
It makes me laugh at people that don't do any drugs or alcohol. Like, hey, you might as well, fatso, because guess what?
Yeah.
You're just getting fat from chemicals anyway.
I remember one time I ate a big bowl of grapes.
Yeah.
And my stomach hurt so bad. I'm like, why would my stomach hurt after eating grapes?
Why was it?
I'm gonna guess the pesticides that they used. That's my guess.
Yeah. Yeah, mate. Who the hell knows?
And so now, I only
Bill Gates can help.
I only eat stuff that's organic. If I eat fruits or vegetables, I try to eat stuff that's organic. But
finally, Bill Gates appeal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, these rubber grapes are hurting.
So that's everything we've been talking about. I found it from this guy, wasn't it Bobby Parrish on YouTube? He talks all about this stuff. About all the garbage that's in your food. You don't want to eat it.
And then how you're supposed to properly wash them. Is it with baking soda that he wants you to wash them with?
Oh, yeah. There's a way to get rid of that, or to try to get rid of it. But I just don't eat it. I just don't eat that stuff that's sprayed with chemicals. It's another reason why I quit smoking pot, because the pot I was smoking I know was sprayed with chemicals. So I think you can get organic pot. But so anyway, that was another good idea I had. All right, so good for Bobby Kennedy. Look, he's on Fox. Look at Fox News, who fired Tucker Carlson for bringing him on and telling the truth about COVID and things. That was the final straw. Tucker was already on thin ice because he was telling you the truth about the Ukraine war and the Syrian war and the deep state and the open borders and all that stuff you're not supposed to talk about.
You're not supposed to mention George Soros on Fox News.
It's amazing to me that people try to come at me like I'm some kind of crazy anti-immigrant if I talk about the border.
What people, though? Online? Because they're probably fake.
Oh, yeah, maybe you're right.
100%. I get like 2 of them that come in, and I go, I'm like, is this a person? And I look, and it'll be like basketball stuff mixed, like they're trying to make it look like a person. Before you believe anything you see online, dude, I would make them do that diagram. Like, tell me how many fire hydrants are in the pictures before I acknowledge you as a person. You know?
Okay. So you should rewind this and watch that a couple times, because the food coloring, the pesticides, the seed oils, everything we're eating is like poison. That's why we have chronic illness. That's why we have obesity. That's why we have all those disorders that he talked about, ADHD. That's what's going on in America. Did you know that in California, 1 in 22, the stat is 1 in 22 kids have autism?
I would say that sounds about right. Probably more. I would say it's probably higher than that, Jimmy.
I mean, and I
would say it's probably higher. Why are they making these new blue-haired, can only focus on one thing?
Why aren't they investigating it? Why isn't there a national commission on investigating why this is happening?
Because they're very programmable, and that's the goal, is to make more of these people that are of indeterminate everything, and they are physically weak, and they
act like you're some kind of mental defective if you want to investigate it.
If I want to know why Greta Thunberg looks like that. I want to know. The Swedes are a robust people, and then you got this runty, maybe at most 3 generations away from a big head gray alien. At most. She's a prototype, Jimmy.
Have you all heard about this new superfood that seems almost too good to be true? It's got thousands upon thousands of 5-star reviews and life-changing testimonials from users. It's Amra colostrum. Do you know what that is? It's the first nutrition we receive in life, and it's an exclusive source of all the essential nutrients we need in order to thrive. Amra colostrum is a proprietary concentrate of bovine colostrum that harnesses over 400 functional nutrients to strengthen your immune barriers against harmful particles from the environment that can trigger inflammation and make you sick. Colostrum has been known to strengthen immunity, ignite metabolism, fortify gut health, promote hair growth and skin radiance, and power fitness performances and recovery. Amra's grass-fed bovine colostrum concentrate. Look it up. I did look this stuff up. This is legit. Amra's grass-fed bovine colostrum concentrate strengthens all 4 layers of your gut wall, where 80% of your immune cells are housed, and activates cellular health for your resilience and recovery. Guess what? We've worked out a special offer for my audience. You're going to receive 15% off your first order. You go to tryarmra.com/Jimmy and enter Jimmy to get 15% off your first order. That's tryarmra.com/Jimmy. Hey, come see us on tour. We're going to be in Duluth, Georgia, outside of Atlanta, Jacksonville, Florida, Tempe, Arizona, and Burbank, California. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.